Fansided had a very interesting article. Basically, the news is the Steelers called the Jaguars to check on Trevor Lawrence. Very interesting news. And you don't really know what's going on with the Jaguars. The guy who drafted and signed Trevor Lawrence is fired, Trent Baalke. Trevor Lawrence, that contract might be the worst contract in the NFL. They have a new head coach. They're going to have a new general manager. You don't know how that organization feels about Trevor Lawrence anymore. They might want a whole fresh start, and I think that's why Pittsburgh may have called him. Hey, do you guys want to start over? Because we'd like Trevor Lawrence. If Trevor Lawrence is available, guy from Fansided said the Niners are a no-brainer team. They should call him up, try to make a deal. I don't know if they would take Brock Purdy, trade the first-round pick, second-round pick. What do you think? Who would be better on the Niners? Who would be better for the Niners? Brock Purdy at whatever deal he wants, or Trevor Lawrence on his current deal?
So this is the reason I want to talk about this. I think you and I will have a differing opinion. I would take Brock Purdy at Trevor Lawrence's contract over Trevor Lawrence right now. If I would take, so say they both had the same exact contract. They both had Trevor Lawrence's contract. I'm taking Purdy over Trevor Lawrence.
Okay.
I think but I
think the equation here is Brock at 60 or Trevor Lawrence after a trade, which means the Niners wouldn't be responsible for a signing bonus. Theoretically, Trevor Lawrence would be cheaper for the 49ers.
If he was cheaper, yes. But that's sad. And that's my thing. I see a lot of people saying Trevor Lawrence just in a bad situation. My thing is how? You can look at the PFF guys do charts all the time. His receivers get more separation than Purdy's, and Purdy's more efficient and accurate. He gets a clean pocket more often, and when he has a clean pocket, he's less accurate than Purdy. And I was looking up all these charts the other day because I wanted to see how they compared. Because I was I think Purdy's actually better. I think Trevor Lawrence was ruined by Urban Meyer or whichever one of his 15 coaches. If I got to draft Trevor Lawrence, yes, I would take him over Brock Purdy. But I think who he is now is like Darnold. He's just got ruined by his team.
But hold on. Okay, counterpoint. Darnold just sort of got resuscitated his career. Couple teams gave him a little TLC and he came back. Think about this thought experiment. Brock on the Jaguars.
Yeah.
Is he good?
I think he would be fine. I think he'd be solid. I think he'd be better than Mac Jones.
Would he be better? Would the Jaguars be better if he were their quarterback than if Trevor were their quarterback?
Is it right now Purdy or drafted Purdy?
2025, this upcoming year. Can the Jaguars sit there and be like, you know what? We're going nowhere with Trevor Lawrence. Why don't we trade him? Start over with Brock. He's better.
I would say no, because what I saw from Brock's arm last year, no. 2023 Brock, sure, I guess.
If he just went 6-9 and got hurt twice with the Niners, is he gonna win 7 games with the Jaguars? I don't know. And that's why I come back to Trevor. It's okay, his numbers aren't good, and he's been a bunch of hype and yada yada yada. But I'm thinking all but 4 or 5 quarterbacks in the league would probably struggle on the Jaguars because it's a dumpster fire of an organization.
My thing with that, that is right, like you said, the Darnold thing. If my coach was Kevin O'Connell, hell yeah, I'd take Trevor Lawrence over Brock Purdy. My coach isn't Kevin O'Connell. My coach is Kyle Shanahan.
Great point. Let me ask you this: do you think Kyle would even want to coach Trevor Lawrence?
I don't think he'd know how. That's my thing is I feel like Kyle doesn't want talented quarterbacks because he doesn't know what to do with them. He doesn't know how to coach them. The QB power and stuff with Trey Lance. Why didn't you develop his arm? I thought that's why we got him, was he was this film junkie guy. And if we had just, got his arm in, good shape, he would be some stud. But it's you were making him like Justin Fields. It made no sense to me. So it's if he got Trevor Lawrence, he'd start doing read option or something. And we'd be like, what? Why? And it's I don't trust his decision making, so he has to run now.
I get the feeling that Kyle doesn't think much of Trevor Lawrence because when Kyle talks about quarterbacks he likes, he's always like, man, when you watch the film, the way they process, the ball is always where when he talks about Kirk Cousins, that's the highest praise. When he talks about Trevor Lawrence, he's like, man, he's tall.
Yep. I think
he's got good size.
But that's because Kyle's least favorite thing a quarterback can do. Turn the ball over. And what does Trevor Lawrence do? He turns the ball over like crazy. That dude can't not put the ball on the ground. And so I think Kyle just hates that. Like, he's like, I would never go near that with a 10-foot pole.
Can I say something blasphemous?
Go ahead.
Trevor Lawrence would be a major upgrade over Brock Purdy on the Niners.
I don't
Trevor
think so.
Lawrence can do everything Brock Purdy can do and then some.
I don't think he can. I don't think he can make decisions like Brock Purdy. I don't think he's as good.
Counterpoint. Brock Purdy isn't that good at making decisions. Is that blasphemous to say? Like, dude throws hella picks, especially in the second half.
Okay.
Is his processing overrated? Is my question.
So here's the thing. I think you give Brock Purdy Trevor Lawrence's arm, and he looks like a god-tier decision maker. I think he overestimates his arm talent. And I think this year especially, we saw that because, like I think we've all seen and said, Brock Purdy's arm looked so much weaker this year. And I think he's making decisions based on having a stronger arm.
I think what sucks about Trevor Lawrence is that his numbers have gone down 3 years in a row.
He's not good. He is not a good quarterback.
That being said, he did throw 4,000 yards 2 years in a row. I don't know. I'm just making noises now. Part of me feels like that could be the next Stafford. Like, you're on a bad organization. You're the one, you were
Stafford
number one pick.
Megatron.
This dude doesn't have Megatron. He's got Brian Thomas.
Let's be honest. The Jaguars, while bad organization, their offensive talent is not awful.
Okay, so they got Brian Thomas, hella good, but a rookie.
Christian Kirk is solid. Evan Ingram's good. Etienne, I would say, is solid to good. I think their line was middle of the pack, maybe slightly below average.
Their weapons are B.
Yeah.
I don't know about their line. I couldn't name anyone on it.
Okay, this is my issue with Trevor Lawrence is people act like he's playing with what Bryce Young's playing with. And they're like, he can't do anything. They're dropping. They're near the bottom of the league in drops. Like, I did, like, they drop everything. They had like 21 drops this year. Brock Purdy had more drops with the Niners. So like we're acting like Trevor Lawrence is playing with, like I said, like what Bryce Young is playing with. Like, dude, his best running back's Miles Sanders and his best receiver is a 40-year-old Adam Thielen. It's like they paid Christian Kirk, who's solid. Yeah, he's not great. They have Brian Thomas, who's good. They have Evan Ingram, who's good. They have Etienne, who's good. So it's like, why does he suck?
Okay, let me ask you this. And again, this is, I think, what the Jaguars are wrestling with. Like, what is the deal? Is he trash? If they trade him, let's say Liam Cohn. I mean, they were desperate to bring in Liam. Liam Cohn could name his conditions right at this point.
Yeah.
Let's say he doesn't want Trevor Lawrence.
I'd be shocked.
Where do you think he ends up next year? Pittsburgh?
I
think Pittsburgh would want him.
I think Pittsburgh or us. Like, I think that if Trevor Lawrence is available,
Kyle would want him. I don't think Kyle
would. I don't either. But what if Jed or John are like, we're tired of your quarterback decisions. Look at where it's gotten us.
The only thing is, like, if Brock Purdy is adamant, Jed the other day was like, oh man, we're gonna make this work with Brock. We're gonna make it work. We're gonna figure it out some way somehow. He's a great guy. It's like, what does that mean? Like, he's going to work with us? He's going to take a disc? He's a great guy. No, he's a great quarterback. Great guy. So if he's not such a great guy, if he's just a regular guy like everyone else and he wants the most money possible like everyone else, do the Niners say, all right, oh, you want $60 million? Okay, so you're better than Trevor Lawrence. You're better than Aaron Rodgers. Are you sure? Because you just came off a pretty mid-year. I mean, if you're gonna drive a hard bargain, we might have to look at other options because we just honestly assumed nice guy like yourself, you would listen to reason.
Well, my thing is, like, I'm kind of curious if Kyle's just waiting on what the Falcons do with Kirk, and like bringing him in as like competition, but also like bring him in as a solid vet backup, but also like Brock, like test us, please. Like Kyle's wanted Kirk.